Bravo. Oh. I think it got heavier. I saw the kickstand is broke. Fix that too. I mean, if I can't find a gas tank for it, I guess I could always put it back together as is. But this one, look out, Toby. The $200 Bravo with the crossbar and gas tank. Yeah, I think there's a spot right here where it feels like maybe a weld had broke off. I don't know if you can see that, but I think that's where that other part of that weld for this is. So I'll look at the Bravo I have here and see. So, but I can't really put it on its kickstand because it goes the wrong way. Oh, it worked. Actually worked this time. No. Whoa! Yeah. Right here. Yeah, damn. I might have another one. Or not, I don't mind. Actually, I might have another one of those. Comes up to the throttle too. Alright. So first things first, I'm going to put some air in the tires and see if maybe I can at least roll it around that way. I know we need new tires. These are showing dry rot. And then I am going to remove this tank, which I think is to a Sears Free Spirit moped. Looks like we got a bolt here, petcock here. Alright, doing that. Tank is off, cross beam is off. Looks like a Bravo. Looks like a Bravo without a tank. I think I'm gonna pull the speedometer cable off and maybe check out this throttle. I don't know, every time I touch this throttle I get like goo on my hand, so they cut that grip off. Not gonna go too far on this bike. I got two other bikes I'm building first, but since it's fresh I want to tinker. Catching up with the white Bravo. It's been a while since I've done a video on the restoration of the white Bravo, if I can speak. So I just got the subframe back. It had a busted kickstand that I had re-welded. Wound up costing me a little more than I thought I was going to pay for it. Probably could have just bought one off of eBay cheaper, but welder was a super cool guy. At least I know it goes to a good spot. So next up for the subframe, I'm going to take a brush and scrape as much of the rust off that I can here, and then I'm going to spray it down with some paint and primer. And then once that dries, I will reassemble it. So that's what's on for today. And then for the Bravo, I finally got a gas tank. I ordered one from a website, and they said on the order for like 6 days, and then eventually got back to me and said, oh, we don't have this. We'll refund your money. But then they didn't refund my money, and I had to report them to PayPal. It took like another 9 days to get my money back. So I found this one off of a website in Europe. It was a guy in Italy that had it, and I think I got it for about 80 bucks. It's disappointing that I didn't get the other one. It was only like 58 bucks with shipping, so a little more expensive. I found a bracket to hold the top part where this bracket was missing, and then for the bottom, this is actually wider. I don't know if you can see it than the American one. The American one is like, these mounts are further in, as you can kind of see here. So what I did was made a bracket that mounts to the old mounts and is wide enough that I can mount to the new mount with skateboard hardware. So it's on there pretty good. I wish I would have slotted them more so I could slide it over. If you look at the tank, there's a little bit more space over here than there is over here, kind of in this area. But I don't know, that's not too bad. So starting the reassembly, and then I had bought a fuel cap years ago that said it was for Piaggio chow, but all the chows are thread-ons, so I was never able actually to use this cap, and randomly, since this is a Euro tank, it's not threaded, it fits perfect. So finally get to use a cap, save a couple bucks on that. Try to figure out what color I'm gonna make this, if any. I mean, the paint on here is good. It's got slight surface rust here and there. Maybe just go with the whole black and white theme. I can repaint the tank easier than I could repaint the entire frame on the bike. I was originally thinking about maybe going with this color of a gray here, like doing everything a light gray, maybe the rims light gray, the tank light gray. Might still stay with that. We'll have to see. Okay. Well, I'm going to clean the subframe and then reassemble the bike, and that's where we're going next. Prepped up, ready to spray. Going with this. Got the first coat on. Gonna let it sit out here in the sun for a while and then flip it and spray the other side. So the subframe is painted, and I'm going to reassemble it with the stock transmission. So at least put the bike together enough that I can roll it around. Alright, so I got it pieced together to the point, or if I want to grab it and move it, I can. That was the goal for today. I got to order some parts. I'm going to try to order some new side panels, and I'm going to make some pieces for the footboard right here, and then take the engine apart and rebuild it. It may not need it, but I have it here. I might open up the intakes. That way if somebody changes up the carb from the 1212 that I'm going to put on it into a 1313 or whatever the heck this is. What did it come with? 1212? I don't have my glasses on so I can't see it, but I don't know. Maybe I can clean this one up and reuse it. All the parts are right here. I did switch it to a stock clutch. I'm going to keep the variated clutch, front and rear. The rear clutch bell and clutch, and the front. And then just make this a stock clutch. Less problems. Plus, if I want to resell those other parts, that's a little bit of a plus. So I guess next I'm going to rebuild the engine and maybe try to figure out if I want to paint it a different color. I guess since the sides are going to be black and the tank is black, I'm going to repaint this. I don't know if I'm going to repaint it black or what. The white paint is still good on this bike, so I hate to respray the whole bike. I don't know. I was thinking maybe like a green tank and spray the wheels green, or at least the rims green, maybe the headlight green, kind of throw a little color in on it. Could just do black and white. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe we'll ask Christine. Here is a little better look at the bracket that I put on there. I got some taper heads so that they would sink up in there a little bit, and that one there, and then these are the mounts where the tank pops up to. So actually worked out pretty good. I was a little bit nervous of that. The U-bolt and this bolt or bracket worked out pretty decent. So now I'm going to repaint the tank, and then I got some heat sensitive paint for the muffler, so it's going to be silver, and then I'm going to respray the tank light gray. Kind of going with a light gray theme because of these are light gray. I kind of wanted to add some color, but I think gray will be kind of cool. So painting those next. So I sprayed the muffler with some high temp heat paint. Gave it kind of a silvery, kind of chromy, but not really chrome. More of a silver look to it. Got the tank started. Spraying the headlight and the tail light. Almost the color they are. So I took off the front fender, the front wheel. I think I'm going to paint these silver to lighten it up a little bit, and to take off the bottom part of the speedometer and and check out the bearings. They're tight. Alright, so I'm going to take that off and clean this wheel. I got some new tires coming on Monday. This is Saturday. Clean this up, and I think I'm going to paint that rim gray. So that's what's next. Back to the white Bravo on a not so beautiful Southern California day. Oh yeah, I've been working on my trailer. And a box of moped parts from Treatland. So I got a couple smaller miscellaneous parts in here, but I've got new tires, new cables, new sides. That is, if I can get them to fit. I know that this one has to be trimmed down or something. Catching up with the Bravo after my camera died. Okay, right now I am just putting on these EBR front headlight brackets. I cleaned up with some steel wool the handlebars, and I guess I could probably run the cables today. Maybe clean up that front wheel or paint it. Oh, and I painted the headlight. So I painted the tail light bracket and the headlight. So figured since this had a little bit of gray to it right here, though you can't see it, that I would do a light gray. It's not the exact color, but it will look something like that. And I really like these brackets and bullet headlight on a Bravo because it gives it a little more of like a motorcycle look to it with the dual suspension and the bullet headlight. So doing that. So got the headlight mounted. Gives it more of a motorcycle type profile. Kind of cleaned up the handlebars, headset a little bit. Kind of realigned them a little bit. And then I put the fuel tank on. So put this maybe to kind of help. I don't know, it was just electrical that comes through, but to help give a little buffer on that. And then got the U-bolt on, and then got the bottom of the gas tank mounted, and I was able to move it back and forth a little bit so it's centered up a little bit more on this area here. And then I don't have these side rails, so I was thinking of just doing something custom where I sand and paint and then just use a couple pieces of plywood. Oh, it's a little too long, maybe more so in this area, but that I can kind of custom cut to fit in there, so you can still get a little bit of a floorboard. I'm sure other people have done this, maybe not with that side up. Yeah, this one either. Yuck. There we go. Much better. So this is the nicer side. Yeah, and then I could probably trim that. I think I had it on this side at one point. You can see my pencil mark lines. Yeah, and then I don't know. I kind of need to work on these wheels, but I'm waiting on some paint. I thought about spraying the wheel silver and then giving it kind of this gray of a rim. So kind of doing these chalky spokes and everything, clean this up, spray everything silver. These tires are road, so could even just spray it with these tires on. And then I wanted to do like a gray rim. Wow, that got dirty. But I don't have the silver paint, so I may not do that today. I might switch off and work on another bike, or I am almost finished with doing my trailer build. Kind of an overcast gray day. Sun poked out every now and then, but plenty to do. Got my silver paint from Amazon, so I think what I'm going to do is go through and spray the entire spoke and rim area with this silver, because I really like the look of it, and it's got little areas where it's got rust on it. I think it'll brighten it up a little bit. This side isn't so bad. It's just most of them covered. So most of the spray in the hub is going to be silver, and then I'd like to do gray on just the rim part. I think that'll look kind of cool. I mean, even the back one here got some stuff that I can't really get to real well, but I can spray over it. It'll look quite a bit nicer. So that's where I'm at today with the paint. And then I pulled the engine and started going through it just to check to see if the engine had spark. There was a reason why this thing probably sat for a while, and he wound up selling it, and it looked like the engine negative ground wire, not very good light in here, had been severed. So I usually open up the engine and ground that on the inside anyhow, because I don't use brake switches, and then a lot of times this wire needs to be replaced since it's a little stiff. Like if you move it too far, it might just snap. So and also cleaning it, so I am going to take this engine apart and inspect it. I do have gaskets for it if I need it, and at least check to see if it has spark before I go and put it in the bike. So I went ahead and started the engine rebuild first, or at least the repairing of the electrical. So cleaned it up a little bit, and I'm looking at it, and I see here this gasket is like I don't know, like a homemade gasket. I think he just got a piece of sheet metal, and I actually have a 50cc gasket that goes there, so I might wind up taking the head and the cylinder and the piston off just to inspect it and change out this gasket. It seems to be made, is that cardboard? It's like mushing out. Maybe it's just a big piece of cardboard. This part over here feels like it's like, no, I think it's just extended cardboard. So he made a cardboard gasket, but he didn't really make it the right size, or oversized on the outside. So maybe I'll just take that off. It actually seems like it's got pretty good compression, so I hate to do that, but I would hate to sell this bike and then that gasket fail because it's not the correct gasket, and then I would be angry that I sold him a bike that doesn't run. So I'm going to take the flywheel off and definitely repair the electrical in there. I guess I could take off the head and the cylinder and the piston, and I don't have to remove the piston, but just the head and the cylinder to get to that gasket. So I got the flywheel off. I don't know why these things are always yellow on the inside. Then got quite a bit of rust on the inside of this, on that lower coil. Points looks okay, and the condenser looks okay. So I'm going to just try to, you know what, I think I'm going to replace this wire, because I feel that if you bend it enough, it's just going to break in there. And then I'm going to take that negative ground wire right there, bring it inside of the engine, and ground it. It goes out right there. I'm going to ground it to this guy, and then that way there's no brake lights. So just a running light, and then find out what's up with this gasket. So probably a good thing I pulled that wire. I mean, I don't remember, I couldn't see if it was really stripped, if it was there or not, but it's definitely frayed, and if it was making contact, that might have kept the bike from starting. So I'm going to replace that, and then this one I'm just going to ground. Damn, that's super stiff. Hopefully that one's still hooked up, but I'm going to ground it right to this if I can, but man, it almost feels like it's broken on the inside there. I'm not for sure if it is or not. Super stiff right there. Still lots of rust. I stripped this screw out, so hopefully I don't have to do much with that. I can run the wire down around here, I hope, out the front. Maybe see if I can clean off some of that rust, but yeah, if I don't have to remove this coil, I won't. The top of the points was super rusty as well too. I mean, I'm going to put it together as is, and then if it doesn't start, then I'll have to backtrack and start replacing the points and the condenser. So cleaning it up, putting it back together. So not my greatest ground wire connection, but it's attached, and then I've got the new ignition wire run to the outside there. So alright, putting the flywheel back on this, and then gonna check out the front part. So I just tested it and no spark, so chances are the points and or the condenser have gone bad, so they're fairly cheap. I'm gonna replace those. I mean, it could be the CDI. I'll see if I have another one, but I did the whole attach the CDI, grounded to the engine, put in the spark plug, touch the spark plug, no spark on this one or the other engine I just rebuilt. So I'll have to figure that out, but I'm going to go through and change that gasket now. Alright, cylinders out. Piston looks hard to tell, pretty gunked up. This stuff, I don't know if this is epoxy or if this is 1-point cardboard or something, maybe a mixture of both. So I'm going to clean all this off here, take the piston off and clean it up, and then clean up all these edges around here and put it back together. I think Bearings sound like they're alright. Crank looks good. So, kind of just cleaning now. So, painted the rims. They actually look pretty good silver. So, I think I'm going to leave them at silver. Originally, I was saying I was going to paint this rim part gray, but that silver paint kind of hid a lot of what I didn't like about this rim, with the exception of the part that I wore off when I was putting the tire on. But I don't know. I'm going to go with silver. I think it looks pretty good. Kind of looks cool without that front fender on it, like a little motorcycle, little chopper. That's what I like about the Bravos, is that they've kind of got a top tank. It's a little undermount top tank, but gives it more of a motorcycle type appearance. So I'm going to put the fender back on, put this wheel back on, and then I pop the tube in my back tire. So I'm repairing that, or going to get another tube and then put that together. So we'll see if the repair takes. I guess maybe wire the rear headlight and prep it, and that's probably about as far as I'm going to go today. So I reinstalled the tail light, brake light, and then I got the rear wheel put back on, and I ran the wiring for the brake light all the way through here to there. Comes up underneath. And now I am starting to do the gaskets and the seals for the engine. Got the head cleaned up, got the cylinder fairly cleaned up, got all that gasket maker or whatever he had on there off. I am going to use some gasket sealant, but I want to use the actual correct seals for this. So doing that now. Here are the correct gaskets, and then this is the type of sealant I use. I don't go as heavy as what he had. So I do a layer on the rim, put on the gasket, do another layer on either the outside rim of that or on the actual cylinder. Put the piston back on, which I guess I could do. Well, I'll do that after I do the gasket. And then slide the cylinder on, and then same with the head. Sealant, gasket, sealant, and then I'm going to let it set overnight, so it should be nice and good to go. So engine's all put together. I don't have a spark plug in the front, but we're good to go on that end, and then I just need to figure out the electrical, so that's the next step. Probably change the condenser, possibly the points. I have a couple extra ones. Quite a few of them down in there. So I'll switch them out until we get spark and get this engine going. So I have quite a few points and condensers that I have pulled out of old engines. So I'm going to go through, I think it's a condenser, and pull this condenser out and start switching them up and change out the points if I need to until this engine has spark, or until we go through all these. Little trial and error. So I changed out the condenser and nothing, and then I changed out the points and I got spark. And I'm trying to show you. Get it going. Spark. Alright. So I might take that condenser out and switch it back with that condenser. Obviously this point is garbage. 3! Oh, front rim. So yeah, I'm going to take the new condenser out and switch it back and see if maybe the original condenser is good. And then I'm going to button this baby up and start putting this thing together. So this condenser actually worked pretty good, but if you can see, I've got a little wear spot on it right there where it had rubbed on the inside. So I've got exposed wire. I could try to just patch that since it works, but I think I'm just going to put the original condenser back in there and see if it works. I'm afraid if I try to patch that and it happens again, that whoever's bike this winds up becoming may not start or run. So maybe we can nip that problem in the bud right here. So switching out the other condenser, the one that's on the floor there, putting it back in. I think it should be okay. It looked like the points was what was causing it not to spark. And then I'm going to button this engine up and put it back in the bike. Alright, so I put the engine back, and I thought I had a belt, but I don't have a belt. So I'll have to order a belt. I still need to order a horn button and a couple other small things, pins for the side, make the side panels fit. But I thought I'd take the time to make the little floorboard panels. I tried to match kind of what was there before on the original. The original didn't even look right on there. So there's the original, and I thought maybe I could just make some out of wood since I don't have another one of these. This is for another bike, and I don't know, maybe do something cool like grip tape it, but I'm gonna paint them probably black and then grip tape them, do some graphics or something on them. But it is coming along. And voila. Just using 1-inch panhead lafing screws. And there you go. Nice tight. Custom floorboards. I almost cut a hole in here or something. Maybe even build this up so it's level all the way across here. I thought about this before because a lot of e-bikes have baskets right here now that you can throw your sweatshirt or whatever else in. But this up a little higher, man. You could mount a skateboard to it. You can mount a skateboard back here. But you could definitely drill a hole, do a bungee up over something. I mean, even a custom little basket might be kind of cool. But that would be for the future owner. Next up, gonna paint the footrest. Guess I could run the cables. Mount the side panels, install the carburetor and the exhaust. Alright, that's the plan. So I went ahead and installed the exhaust, the carburetor, the air filter, the throttle. The engine's all ready. Got our front brake, throttle's hooked up. We have our rear brake and our decompressor. Only thing I'm really missing is the horn button and a belt. But I'm to a point where I could put gas in it and start it with a drill. So if I want to see it running, I can do that right now. I think I'm going to. I'm a little anxious to see if it's running. So I'm going to put some gas in and see if I can't get it started. Alright, so I tried to drill start it, and it looks like I've got a little bit of gas leaking out of my carburetor. So I'm going to find out what's up with that. I don't know if maybe it's just this screw top is a little loose, but can't have a drip. Well, it doesn't look like it's dripping from the top side. It looks like it's dripping from the float bowl. So either the carburetor's clogged and it's backflowing, or that little seal, I didn't get it tight enough. Either way, carb's got to come out. Might as well clean it, inspect it, put it back in, try it again. So I checked it and it's still not starting. Checked the spark, we still got spark. So compression's off, or the carburetor got clogged up again. It wasn't leaking, but it just started leaking, so it might just be that the engine's filled up and the gas is starting to backflow through it. There it goes, right there. But gas line's off, so take the carburetor out, take a look at it. If I have to, I'll take the engine out, check the compression, check the seals again. I think those got to be good. I don't know. I mean, I did everything correct on that, so I mean, could just be that piston was a little too worn. We're getting too much air around it, but this bike really should be starting right now. A little bit of a puzzle why it's not. Okay, so oddly enough, I believed in my build more than I did in the exhaust. So I thought like, oh, maybe the exhaust is clogged and it's not allowing air to backflow through it. So I pulled the exhaust off and the bike fired up. And then when I tried to blow air through the exhaust, there really isn't anything coming out. Which sucks because this doesn't look too bad. believe it was the clogged exhaust that was keeping the bike from starting and running. So it's good to go now. I guess I just got to find another pipe for it. So I got it running. Got to start it with the drill. Got the new pipe put on it. Just fried it a little bit. It's all good. I don't have a belt on it. So, waiting on a belt. Definitely some progress. Kind of a shame I spent so much time restoring this one with this is heat paint, so it would have been fine, but it's got a nice chrome look to it. I don't know if I can get it to unclog, or I mean, these things are a dime a dozen, so I'll probably just repaint that spare one I have on there and let it go. Back to the side panels. So there's a little locking part. I don't know if you can see it in there. Let's see if I can get it off. Around the clutch, okay. So there's kind of a little like front piece right here, and then locking parts. This kind of hooks in to that area right there. So I think I'm just going to cut this front piece off here so that it's kind of squared up, and I can get to that part a little bit easier. I don't know if that'll interfere with the fuel line. The ways extend forward. I see the opportunity to shorten them a little bit. And then it looks like this part right here is the part on treatment they're talking is a little bit too long. This part needs to be trimmed back. Probably close to being flush with this, or a little shorter maybe. I've got a reciprocating saw, going to cut that. So here's the left side, looks pretty good. Didn't have to do much altercation for this side. And then on, I'm sorry, the right side, that's the right side. On the left side, on the clutch side, I just trimmed this one here down. Basically cut it off, cut about 3/8 of an inch off, and then remelted it back on. And both of them, I cut the fronts off. So I'll put this on and show it. All right, and there they are. Black stock clutch sides. This one does rub a slight amount down here when you pedal. Don't think it's enough really to worry about. Pretty minor. The engine definitely sticks out a little further. Kind of cool. Maybe it'll help cool it a little better being out there. So, got side panels on, and then I'm working on the floorboards, and I just got to order a couple parts. A belt, horn button, and then this one will be good to go. Not a whole lot I can do right now since I'm going to wait on parts. I guess I could put that on. That's going to be pretty cool looking. I got a little headset badge. And then maybe try to put the Bravo. I have some spare Bravo stickers I could put maybe in this part or back here or something. I'll have to check it out and look. But I think I'm going to hold off on this because I don't want to put the sticker on it and store it outside and then the sticker fall off. I've had that happen with the older style. Well, that white really looks cool with that white body. I think it looks good. So basically, I'm going to set this one aside and start working on my next bike. And then when I get parts, I'll resume putting the belt, the horn button, the stickers. I guess that's really about it. Taking it for a test ride. One quick last video. I got these floorboards put in. Basically just sanded them, sprayed them with primer, and then painted them black. And I think I'm going to put grip tape over them. But I just finished them up, so I thought I'd put them on. But I think they look pretty good. Almost a close match for the original. Not bad looking. So I have these variated Bravo sides that come with these little clips that go on there. Kind of clip in there. But if I put them on Grandes, I don't put the Bravo badge on it. Just leave it open. Kind of goes there. But I think what I can do is maybe on these non-variated sides, this one, take these little clips off, maybe just glue them in that area. Give them kind of a, because I've got a bunch of these, I don't use them if I put them on Grandes because they're not for Grandes. So it has a little Bravo side to it. I don't know. I'm going to use some contact cement and break that part off. And then I got push pins and stuff from Treatland. I got the horn button for here. And then I got the a little bit nicer of these push pins, I think. And hopefully the correct belt. I know that these are different sizes on the back, and that's really a lot of times what depends on what belt size you get. So fingers crossed I got the right belt size. So after that, it is just hooking up the wiring to the headlight and the horn button, and then tying into my tail light wire here. So probably about a day to finish this one up, and then it will be for sale. Got those drying in the sun. And then I have the belt on. It fit with the smaller pulley, so it's good to go. Bike should be functioning. And then I went to put the horn button on, and two things that are disappointing. The horn emblem is upside down, and then they didn't send a screw. So it mounts here, which I can find a tiny screw. I don't think I can flip that horn button around, so I guess it's just got to be the Bizarro horn button. Beep, beep. Yeah, so I guess I'm going to go to Ace and see if I can find a screw, or maybe I have one here that will fit that. Guess maybe I'll take one off an existing and try to match it. So, and then just wiring it. Alright, back to do the wiring today. I was noticing with this, with the horn button being upside down, that there's a little clip. If you can see, there's a little clip inside there that I could probably pull off. The button slides out, I can rotate it and put it back on. So that's what I'm going to do. Alright, so I did that, it worked. Pulled that little pin up, pulled the button out, rotated it, put that little top clip back in. It's good. And then I found, see, the bottom screw is the screw that came with it. I had an extra one in another bike, so I took it out. And then I just checked some of the screws I had laying around, and it looks like this screw, the upper one, will fit it. So I'm going to use this to mount the horn to the bike. So I got it mounted, but the screw is a little too long. It kind of bottoms out before it gets all the way to the top. Oh. And I don't even have the wire in the right spot, so I got to take that off anyhow. But I think I'll just take a belt sander and take, it looks like maybe 3/16 or 1/8 of an inch off of this screw to shorten it a little bit, and then it should fit good. Horn button is on. I shaved the little screw down so it sits flush, and then I wound up drilling a little hole in the back to bring it through and plug it in. So now all I have to do is hook up the headlight, the horn, and the tail light up here in this area. And this bike is good to go. Put on the side panels and give it a little test drive. So the white Bravo is complete. I had issues yesterday with the tail light. I wound up running a negative line because it wasn't making the connection through the painted taillight cover, fender, through the painted subframe, all the way up to make the ground with the engine. So I made a piece that the wire, probably you'll see it came up through here, came through here, attached to the bolt that goes to the engine over here, and all as well. Another issue I had was with this cheap 1212 carburetor that I got off of Amazon for $15. I was hoping that I found a score on these, and this one would not run correctly unless the choke was pushed down, so it wouldn't run. It made me think the engine had problems, and it would run fine like this, and then you would let the choke off, and then it would die, like it was getting flooded. So I couldn't figure out what the problem was. I wound up taking this carburetor out and switching it with the carburetor that it came with, which was a 1212. Same jet, I think at a 48, and the bike starts up and runs just fine now. So I can do that now.